So the ace of the Washington Nationals was caught up in a whirlwind of, can I see your hat? Can I see your glove? He kept getting checked for the sticky stuff, the sticky substances.
It happened. Balls.
Yeah, baseball loves their balls. In the first inning, they checked him. In the third inning, they checked him. And then again in the fourth inning, the umpire said, hey, can I see if you got any of the sticky stuff? And that is when he had a Chernobyl-type meltdown coming off the mound. Scherzer had reached the end of the rope. He had it as he was being checked again mid-inning in the fourth inning for foreign substances at the request of Joe Girardi. I don't know if we have the audio on this or not, but it was a wild scene in Philly because of the body language and the gyrations of Max Scherzer as he was going all over. We have some of the audio. It's from TV, so TV audio is not good. Radio audio is better, but we have it, so we'll play it. Here's a kind of what it sounded like as Max Scherzer was being checked and did not appreciate the cavity search.
Joe Girardi is asking the home plate umpire, Tim Timmons and Alfonso Marquez, to take a look at something. Joe must have seen something with one of the baseballs. Scherzer's looking over the dugout saying, really? But they must have seen something. So Dave Martinez is coming out.
Davey's upset.
He is upset. Look at Joe. I love it. I love it.
All right, that was the Philadelphia Phillies TV scene. Now Kubaloop's been like a bulldog on this. He's desperately trying to find good audio. So I think we found better audio. So let's ignore that audio and let's listen to this audio. Let's go to the audio tape. Here we go.
Try to throw somebody off their game, and Davey rightfully coming out to protect his guy to see what's going on here.
Hey, what did they expect? Mac drops his hat, and Carlos Torres is going to get mad at him. This is in the middle of an inning after you struck a guy out, and it was initiated by the other manager. If I'm Davey, I'm not standing for this at all. And now Girardi's going to come out and become a bigger part of it.
Well, I love how Davey's coming out to protect his guy here. Girardi trying to find anything to get Max off his game, but honestly, I think it's only going to fire him up more and going to make him better.
All right, so that was the Washington Nationals television broadcast. So you heard both sides, slightly different take from the Washington Nationals. Now, you didn't hear all of the details. Yeah, you didn't hear all the details, but Mad Max was so fed up. How fed up was he that he took his glove off, his hat, and he started to undress. He took the belt. He started to take the belt off like he was taking his pants off on the mound. Now, this has led to people attacking baseball. There were other incidents that we'll mention in a few minutes, but this incident was the big one. And it was the first one of the night. And people saying what an embarrassing episode it is for baseball. It's bad for the sport. It's a dark chapter for the industry, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So let us discuss. I'm a baseball guy. I am fascinated by how this is going to play out and how long this story is going to have legs. Are we talking about the rest of the season? Are we talking about through the month of June and then it stops? Are we talking about to the end of July? Or are we going to be doing this in the baseball postseason? It's going to be fascinating to see when baseball decides to roll this back, or are they just going to continue to do this all season? But the question on this particular issue, you heard the audio from both sides. Do you have any empathy for Max Scherzer, who had a conniption fit like a toddler on the mound? Now, I'm going to go first. I am shaking my head. I'm shaking it no. I started shaking it yes, and then I said no. I'm shaking it no. Now, my observations. You've got Luke Skywalker, Animal Kingdom, and Moonlighting. And we'll put all these things together and we'll form an adequate Maller monologue. Now, number one. Listen, Max Scherzer, even though his numbers on the mound were not bad, he showed weakness. And this is going to follow Max Scherzer around as long as this rule is in place in baseball. That is on him. I have no sympathy for Scherzer. If he had kept his composure, then this thing would have blown over and it would not have escalated. And I'm going to say, great job by Joe Girardi. All right, he gets a gold star. Congratulations. You get a gold. No. That is the job. I want my manager to be Joe Girardi. Joe Girardi played mind games. Right? He got into the head of Max Scherzer. And that's impressive. When you consider that Girardi last played in the big leagues 18 years ago, and there he is acting like Luke Skywalker using Jedi mind tricks against Max Scherzer, and for that to work against a supposed savvy veteran like Max Scherzer, who was visibly disgusted. It looked like he wanted to rip someone's head off, and he was so disgruntled by all of the checks of the hat and the glove and all that, he then got into a stare down like they were outside a saloon in the Old West, Joe Girardi and Max Scherzer after the fourth inning. And Joe Girardi was so angry. How angry was he? He was so angry that he hoppity-hopped out of the dugout and was like, bring it on, man. Bring it on. Come on, man. Let's fight right now. Me and you. Let's fight. He invited Scherzer to get into it. It was wild. It was wild. You got to find the video on that. It's on the social media. So Girardi's like, okay, let's fight right now. And that earned Girardi an ejection from the game. I thought it was all in just a tremendous thing to see and to watch. I don't have any skin in the game. I'm not a Washington Nationals fan. I'm not a Philadelphia Phillies fan. But Max Scherzer then waved goodbye to Joe Girardi, holding his hat and his glove in the air as a way to taunt Girardi. Right? We're not talking about this is something that happened in the 1980s or the 90s. This happened a few hours ago. It was wild. And in the Scherzer's numbers, we pointed out, numbers were not bad. They're a bit misleading, though. He went only 5 innings. He pitched 106 pitches. You expect him to go later into the game, and the Nationals barely won the game. Philadelphia took it on the chin there 3-2 because their offense was limp. They had just 6 hits in the game. Now, the second point here, Major League Baseball pitchers as a whole have no one to blame but themselves. And it's the old, we talked about it in previous episodes. You give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And Major League Baseball looked the other way. They didn't want to enforce the rules. The rules have been, it's kind of like the police. You know, there's a lot of laws in different jurisdictions, and a lot of them are not enforced. And people in positions of power determine what they want the local police department to enforce. Well, Major League Baseball has rules on the book against doctoring the baseball. They just chose to look the other way, and they're like, well, sunscreen's okay, put a little rosin, we don't really care about that. And then over time, inch by inch by inch by inch, pitchers treated that as a starter kit. And they eventually moved over to the animal kingdom. And it's all about the gorillas and the spiders, Gorilla Glue and Spider Tack. And those are the Rolls Royce of the gooey stuff that you're going to put on the ball. And baseball decided we got to do something about this. The offense is back at the 1960s level. And so what baseball did, and I love ripping Rob Manfred, but it seems very fair. Baseball started getting the word out at the end of the 2020 season. Hey, this is a problem. We're going to keep an eye on it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And they really played a game of chicken. The players thought that baseball was bluffing, and they come back to spring training. And again, Major League Baseball's like, don't do it. We're gonna start randomly checking certain pitchers and all that. You shouldn't do this in spring training. The players continued doing the nonsense, and then finally baseball says, all right, the jig is up. Knock it off. The players didn't believe them, and now the pickle jar has been opened. And what are you doing? It's not like this. You were blindsided by this. Now, final point. So Max Scherzer is in center square. We're talking about his situation because of the back and forth with Girardi. That was a thespian performance on the mound. It was reminiscent of my youth watching This Week in Baseball with Mel Allen because I'm old, and some of the bloopers of different players with all the gyrations and the mannerisms and all that. But knowing when the red light was on, And I'm going to go Illuminati deep state. I'm sensing a pattern. Is it possible that the union, the baseball players union, their way to combat this, that they have let the players know, if you really want to put a stop to this, start undressing on the field in front of 20,000 people? Because that, eventually baseball, we can't do this. We can't have people undress. But Scherzer, he made sure to ham it up for the cameras. It was performance art. Max Scherzer was moonlighting as a Chippendales dancer. He started doing a little striptease, although he was stopped before he did it. But that brings up Oakland A's relief pitcher, journeyman pitcher Sergio Romo, who's pitched for the Twins and the Giants, the Dodgers. He's been all over God's green earth. Sergio Romo was getting checked for the sticky stuff. And he ended up saying, hey, hold my beer to Max Scherzer. He actually pulled his pants down. He had a Steve Lyons-like moment. You saw the guy in his underpants right there on the mound. So I'm telling you,
I love my balls.
This has happened already in 2 days multiple times. I smell a rat. I sense, my Spidey-like senses tell me that this is choreography, that the word has gotten out, hey, if enough pitchers pull their pants down, eventually baseball is going to be forced to not do this as much because it's going to be embarrassing, and this is going to get the highlights and be popular on social media, and God forbid baseball is popular on social media. The old farts will put a stop to that right away. So I'm going to push back on this being bad for baseball. I think this will backfire for the union if my intuition is correct. I thought it was amusing. I thought it was entertaining. It was comical. It was fun. It was like Steve Psycho Lyons, the old baseball player, was on every mound around the big leagues. It was an interesting episode, to say the least.